Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is a Loshak in the Bag show for Wednesday, January 10th. We are chugging along in college basketball, NBA, and NHL. I will not have a tablet today, so I will not be able to read comments, so please don't address anything to me. But Jimmy the Bag, will you be the comment guy for today?
I will happily be the comment guy.
Thanks very much. And read anything that's interesting, and if anything really great gets posted, please copy and paste it and send it to me for my archive of great comments, which of course I live for. Yesterday was an interesting game, of course. The day, of course, in the NBA. The question was Miami easy money or a trap? It was easy money. No problem there. I doubled up on that one. Had some balls there late. In the 6 o'clock show, though, we both wound up going with those overs in the Lakers game. What happened? Did you watch that game? What happened, Jim?
They scored 27 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but the first half went under as well. I doubled up on the first half. It just wasn't.
We lost that Mavs game by a point.
I didn't have that one. But, you lost that one by a point. So, the ups and downs. NHL, I was profitable in NHL, although I had a couple of losers. Minnesota. What happened there, Jim? Minnesota lost, Jim.
Yeah, they did.
What happened?
They did. They came back in the third to make it interesting, but not enough.
Not enough, Jim.
But I had a nice day in NHL.
That's right, you did. You had I think you had 4 massive puck lines and 2 of them cashed, right?
2 of them cashed.
And then, of course, wacky, wild, weird stuff with totals in the NHL, right?
That over that we had, Sabres-Jets, was a plus over.
Yeah.
11 goals.
Weird, wacky, wild stuff. I knew that the Ottawa game was a great game on the over. I did not know that the Florida game was a terrible bet on the under. Man, so, I'm looking at the picks I gave yesterday. Huge, great calls on the Chicago-Ottawa over and Winnipeg-Buffalo over by me. Terrible call on Florida-St. Louis under. What the hell happened there? All of a sudden, teams are scoring 7, 8, 9, 10 goals a game. Jim, what's going on here, Jim?
Well, we thought that after Hutton was making a statement, making a claim for that number 1 job, that there would be some fight back. And clearly, it's Hutton's job, and there's goaltending problems in St. Louis.
Yeah. Weird, wacky, crazy, wild stuff. I also we're having some tech issues today, so I forgot to send in the official updated records. So we don't have the updated records for today. But after your winning day in NHL, Jim, you're now up 4.5 units in NHL. Very nice. And I am up 14 units despite having taken Minnesota yesterday and despite having taken Toronto 2 days ago. I'm up 14 units. Jim's up 4.5 units in NHL, which is very, very nice. We only have 2 NHL cards tonight, the games tonight on the card, and they're both really wacky games that what's a funny shit coming in?
Remmo says, tell Juan Ma to stop playing Candy Crush on the iPad and let Pete read the comments of us making fun of him.
That's a great comment. Yeah, I cannot read any. Oh, they're making fun of me again? They're making fun of me again?
No, not yet. They have no reason to.
Yeah, no.
You're looking sharp.
Yeah, listen, if you guys make fun of me, you're just going to inspire me to go on Trenbolone and update my wardrobe and look fucking cool and sexy. So if you think you're going to defeat me by mocking my appearance, that ain't going to work.
Impossible.
I'll order Trenbolone. That shit will come to Costa Rica in 2 weeks, and within 10 days after that, I'll be and I'll put up a nice wardrobe, get a little bit of a nice tan, and all of a sudden people be like, whoa, Loshak has some swag going on. All right, so we do have a very light card today, so that's why we're joking around a little bit. College basketball, there's a massive card. Let's also talk about college basketball. Man, Jim, I was just you know what I was like, something's off today. What the hell happened to me in terms of like my sleep, not my analysis, but like my sleep, my focus, and that's when I realized I was like, my schedule is so calibrated that doing that college football show Monday night just threw me totally off my game. I mean, everything that I do, people don't realize covering all these sports is tough. Everything I do is like calibrated down to the hour, Jim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it bothers me too. I want to be here on the morning and the afternoon. It's the only way I can keep everything together. I agree totally.
But so anyway, yesterday I wound up in college basketball. It was just frustrating because I gave 7 picks. A couple of them won, a couple of them lost. I wound up slightly down yesterday in college basketball, but I had a big day in college basketball. Personally, all of my leans cashed. I knew that all those fucking like games with the super high totals that made sense, like the Baylor game and the Oklahoma game, I knew they were all unders. You know what I mean? I had them all unders, and I mentioned them and I knew that the Eastern Michigan game was an over, which someone else, one of the commenters mentioned. I said that was a lean of mine as well, but I just didn't give any of them because I was just like a little bit thrown off, and I was like, again, my bar for giving picks here is much higher than my bar for betting. You know what what I mean? So if I think I see a lean that's contrarian, I'll bet it, no problem. If it loses, I'll go back and review it. But for a pick, I really want to be confident in it, and it's just frustrating because yesterday I had a lot of winners. I could have given out a lot of winners, but instead I went 3-4 in college hoops, Jim.
I was very frustrated with yesterday. I ended up 5-6, and I can see the mistakes that I made, and it was very frustrating.
Yeah.
Maxwell Smart had another giant
Really,
day. So I really think that we are on the cusp of making a lot of money on the college hardwood. And I like today's NBA card.
You mean we are on the cusp for the viewers, you mean?
As a group, making huge amounts of money.
That's what's so frustrating, because yesterday I had a huge day in college basketball, huge day, and it was just with a lot of contrarian totals. You know what I mean? I had the under in the Oklahoma game. I had the under in the West Virginia game. I had a couple of stuff like things like that, and so it was just frustrating that, like, looking back on it, and I was like, why was I thrown off? And that's when I remembered, because I was up till 11:30 last night making the friggin' college football video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all right, let's get into it. We've got a massive college basketball card on the slate today. We're not going to be giving any college basketball picks in today's show because we're not prepared. But once again, we got like 30 games. If there's anything I'm seeing during the day, I will tweet out the picks, and then at 6 o'clock show, Jim will have a ton of research. I'll have some picks, and hopefully I will be more on top of my sleep and rest and research schedule, and we'll be able to give a lot more of my leans as official picks. Let's jump into NBA. We got a big NBA card here tonight, right, Jim?
We certainly do.
Big NBA card. Yesterday, once again, I'm clawing back a little bit. I had a slight winning day yesterday. Great calls on Miami, but then wound up adding on 2 losers with the friggin' Lakers game. Jim, how'd you do in NBA yesterday? I forgot.
1 for 2. Disappointing.
Well, in today's card, there were a couple of games that I bet on the overnight line, which I had stopped doing, and but yesterday I felt like I had a bunch of leans that I hit on the overnight line, and those lines moved in my favor, which is a nice little sign. Let's start with the first one that I bet. I did think that the total in the Utah-Washington game was hanging a little bit low. I hit it at 205, pretty big. Max play for me in terms of NBA totals is now up to 206.5 or 207. The Greek still has 206. I'm thinking we might see an over here, Jim. What do you think?
Interesting. Let's break the game. On December 4th, the Wizards went to Utah and got destroyed, 116-69. It was a big turning point on the season. Since that game, the Wizards have gone 11-6, and the Jazz have gone 3-13. In Washington's last 2 games, a 102-100 victory over Memphis and a 110-103 loss to the Bucks. Reminiscent of what the Wolves were doing before, the Wizards have been getting destroyed in the fourth quarter, being outscored 56-33 in those 2 games. Wall and Beal went a combined 1 for 20 in those 2 games. It points to a tired group that is forced to play too much because of a weak bench. And I think we're going to continually see Washington struggle in the fourth quarters until they get reinforcements. So if you're making in-play action, if you're making second-half bets, look for Washington to not be as successful offensively as they are in the first half. Otto Porter is expected to be back in the lineup. He's a big help because we're talking about a team that doesn't have a lot of depth. The Jazz handled Rudy Gobert's first injury this year so well, and now this second injury has sent them into an absolute tailspin. Without the defensive presence of Gobert, over the last 11 games, the Jazz have allowed an average of 106.5 points per game. And we know how good they are when they hold teams under 100 points. They're 10-3 this year. Gobert, Nito, and Exum remain out. Favors is expected to play, but he's banged up. I think...
So totals-wise, this reminded me of the Portland OKC game. Again, that was a game I was like, why is this total where it is? I wound up betting it, but not giving it as an official pick. First half and full game went easily over in that game. Same deal here. Similar line. First half total is just 99 or 99.5. Am I not seeing something here? Why is this total so low? And our over is not a good bet here, Jim.
I think the overs are a good bet, but... In saying that, I'm going to only take the first half. And this wasn't a play that I planned on making in this card. This is a play that has been worked out here with you guys. I think that is a good play, and I'm going to take the first half over 99.
Really? Okay, so 99 minus 112 is the best line right now at Pinnacle, and I'm going to take the full game over as well. I bet it at 205. It's now up to 206, 206.5, but the Greek still has, the Greek still has 206, so I'll take that one. I'm going to take the first half over 99 minus 112. And the full game over 206 minus 110. And Jim is on just the first half over 99 minus 112. All right. Yeah. Why are people in chat saying they agree with the over on this one?
No, there's actually no talk on this game tonight. Here, Reggie says, revenge game for the Wizards. They got beat down last time they played. Justin Searcy says, Utah Wizards under the total.
No, that's not good. That's not good. Why would that be? Is that because he just thinks of Utah as a very low-scoring team? They're picking up the pace a little bit offensively, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't like being not on the same side as CRC. Let's get some Justin, if you could give us a little more info on why you're feeling that way, that would be great. Giovanni Biesdorf says Wizards spread.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. It is a very high total here, a very high spread here, though, 7 or 7.5. All right, I'm going to give these overs, and once again, in the 6 o'clock show, if I decide that if we get information saying that, it's a poster comments saying they don't like it, other information, I will take it back. Hopefully, if I do that, it won't be at a loss or risk of a middle. But as of right now, I'm gonna give overs here. Yesterday, it's the same feeling I had yesterday with the Portland OKC game. I just didn't understand why those totals were so low. Didn't have the balls to give it, and of course, they both went way over, Jim.
Yeah.
Why does Justin Searcy like the under?
He hasn't come in yet, but I'm sure he's typing as we speak. Mr. Cloudkick says, I think the Jazz team total under is a good look. And then All In had a nice comment. Where is it? How did I lose this? All In says, Washington problem in the fourth is that they slow down the game too much and finish their possessions taking bad shots. He's absolutely right. If you watch them, they wait and then get stuck having to force a play with a few seconds left on the shot clock. It's a really good point, All In. Reggie says, no Gobert. I think John Wall and the guys put on a show. Searcy says, Washington playing slower in the second half, buckling down on defense, and Utah doesn't score well on the road. Under the total on the full game. Kobe Valentine says, Utah has no inside presence anymore, and if Wall takes it to the rim, he won't be stopped.
So then that makes even less sense why the first half total then would be less than 50%. If the total's 206 and that's the way we're expecting this game to go, then you would expect the first half total to maybe be 105 instead of 99.
Absolutely, you would, and I love the first half 99 over. I think that's a nice play, and it's the only one I'm going to stay on.
All right. I might be on the wrong side here, but I'm going to take the full game over 206 and the first half over. All right, that was the first game that I hit on the overnight line. What else are you liking from today's card, Jim?
Well, if we're going to stay on totals for a second, this is probably my favorite play or second favorite play on the card. I am confidently taking the under in the Clippers-Warriors game, confidently. I think that the Warriors, one thing that is a very possible thing in this game is that they absolutely destroy the Clippers, rest everybody in the fourth. How are you going to hit a 226-point line if the Clippers only put up 85 or 90 points? And I think that is a very real possibility. The Warriors have beaten the Clippers 12 straight times, including last Saturday when they defeated them 121-105 when Blake Griffin was lost to a concussion. Griffin did not play Monday versus the Hawks, and he's unlikely to be cleared tonight. He's in concussion protocol. Monday versus the Hawks, the Clippers were missing a total of 72.6 points per game in injured players. Griffin, Teodosic, Gallinari, and Rivers all will be out of the lineup tonight. Warriors have won 5 straight. Durant missed the last 3 games with a strained calf. He was a full participant at practice on Tuesday and should be cleared to play tonight. If Durant is good to go, the Warriors will be completely healthy for one of the few times all season, and I think that they will trounce this Clippers team. Now, in saying that, I'm not going to take the Warriors at 16.5-point favorites because if they rest everybody in the fourth, there could be a backdoor cover. Secondly, they haven't played with Durant, Thompson, and Curry all together on the same unit, so maybe that will cause a little bit of problems. I really feel like the under here is a great play.
Wow, contrarian play from Jimmy the Bag. Of course, Golden State has gone over in 5 straight games. The Clippers gone over in 8 out of their last 9. They met 2 games ago, and that one went to 226, which is right where the total is right now. But Jimmy with an excellent breakdown. I love these contrarian plays that if you do your research, can have some of the best value in all sports. We give you 226.5 at UWager, or we give you 226 plus 100 at Pinnacle. I think you probably should take that one. That's not worth 10 cents at half point.
Yeah.
Which would you like?
I think you're right. I think I'll
226.5 minus 110 or 226 plus 100.
I'll take 226 plus 100.
That's the line right now at Pinnacle. Everywhere else is 226 at minus 110. Pinnacle 226 plus 100. Very interesting call there. Jimmy the Bag, both the Clippers and Golden State, massive overtrenders recently over the last 5 or 6 games, but Jimmy the Bag liking the under in the meet-up tonight. Wow.
Greg Schneider's with me, says, love it, Jimmy, but there's a bunch of guys who are against me. One Hard Yo says, I like the over on the Clippers-Warriors game. Donald Trump says, one of the best picks, if not the best pick. I love the underplay Golden State Warriors versus Clippers. I was shocked to see that line. Nice. There was another one.
Why would people be shocked to see this line? They played 2 games ago, went to 226. They've both been overtrending teams recently. The line makes perfect sense to me, which is why it's probably a good play if you have an edge one way or the other. But why would someone be shocked to see that line?
I tell you what, with this Clippers lineup, they are going to get destroyed. Mm-hmm. And if they play their hearts out and defend the perimeter like crazy, it's going to go under. Mm-hmm. I truly, every angle I look at this game being played out, I see an under 226.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if we're going to stay on target, so Jim's giving the under 226 plus 100. If we're going to stay on totals, let's go to New Orleans and Memphis. This, of course,
wow. We got a wonderful comment from our one of our guys that we love, Juan Juarez. He says, "Good morning, guys. I've been disabled for the last 3 months, and this show and everyone at SBR have been making my recovery very fun and easy. Thanks for all the motivation and good spirit."
Oh, my God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow, what a great
We love you, Juan. We love having you with us. So that means a lot to us that it's making recovery easier, and you're making our capping easier, and we love you, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so great comment there from, what's his name, Juan Juarez?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about
Lathrop has a great call, a bit of an angle here, because I was saying how they're not going to be comfortable with three. Yes. Lathrop says, I'm tailing the under. Warriors will be deliberate to try to get Durant touches, which is another possibility.
Wow.
Trump says, don't forget the Warriors are also one of the best defensive teams in the league. People tend to forget that.
Wow.
So one Hardio says over 17-4 in the last Clippers games against a team from the Western Conference. But somebody made a great point saying that this is not here. Oh no, someone just made it. I can't see where it was, but someone made a great point. Oh, here, Dan Kelly said this is not the same this is not the same Clippers team that has been going over lately, and that is the truth. I think this is my favorite play of the card. I'll tell you what might be close to it in a second, but I think this is my favorite play on the card.
What a great break. What a great collective breakdown that I had absolutely nothing to do with. I might tail this play under 226. A lot of great opinions on the Lakers Golden State game. I'm sorry, Clippers Golden State game. Wow, we are really providing some great content here. Jimmy the Bag. I'm impressed. All right, so can we move on? Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Memphis New Orleans game. Of course, Anthony Davis is out for this game. He's been out 5 games this year. All 5 of those games went over, although a bunch of them were against sort of high-scoring teams like Golden State and Houston, and the Pelicans covered 4 out of those 5 as well. This is another one. I hit this one on the overnight line. Sorry, at 210, and that has now jumped up to 213. I hit it at 210, Jim. South to 213. What do you think about maybe hitting the over again here? Maybe a shot with New Orleans. What do you think?
I understand that Boogie is this enigmatic superstar that steps up when Davis is out. And if I was a Pelicans fan, he would drive me absolutely crazy. The Pelicans beat the Pistons at home Monday night, 112-109. Davis sprained his ankle in the third quarter. The X-rays came back negative, but he'll be out of the lineup for the 6th time this season. As you said, not only have they covered, but the Pelicans have won outright 3 of the 5 games that he's missed. Rondo went 12 points, 15 assists versus the Pistons. The Grizzlies have been off since Friday night's 102-100 loss to the Wizards. 3 of their last 5 losses have been by 2 points. Tyreek Evans has been playing very well. He scored 20 or more in 11 of the last 14 games. Conley and Parsons will be out, but Andrew Harrison will be back, and he's a defensive player who doesn't look very good on the offensive end. Joshua Yanez just says Memphis looks good on the under. I tell you what. Oh, and Searcy's on exactly what I'm about to say. I'm going to take the Grizzlies on the money line. I think that they're rested. I know that I've seen games where Boogie puts up 50 points and they lose. I don't doubt that he's going to have a monster game, but I think a rested Grizzlies team that's starting to play better, and I'm getting a plus line. I hope I still am getting the plus line.
Yes, the best line would be at UWager, which is just plus 105, and if you wanted a spread, you could get plus 1.5. You could get plus 1.5.
I have to take plus 1.5.
Plus 1.5 minus 108 or plus 105 on the money line.
I have to take plus 1.5.
All right, so Jim's going to take Memphis plus 1.5 minus 108. That's the current line at Pinnacle. It's 1 or 1.5 market wide, and the money line is down at plus 100 most places. Only UWager has plus 105. That's a little bit off market there. Wow, so not a lot of value on the money line. Jim's taking the plus 1.5 with Memphis.
Yes. I just feel like this is a rested team that's ready to go, and these Pelicans they're just not trustworthy. I wouldn't say that this is a play I'm extremely confident in, but Greg Schneider just says home dog with no Anthony Davis. I just think this is a nice spot. Seriously says Conley been out for over a month. Yeah, he's practicing again, which is good to see. They desperately need him, but there's no timetable on his return. Dan Kelly says Grizz in a good spot for a 6-point teaser. Donald Trump says, yeah, and the Grizzlies have been cream pied by everybody ever since. They stopped, though, getting cream pied. I would say they had a really good Western run, and since then things have changed. They've changed for about 6 or 7 games. Triple Beam says New Orleans will push the pace. Grizz don't have a go-to scorer at the 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. Well, Tyreek Evans is a go-to scorer, I think. Triple Beams, I would say. Justin Searcy says, and this is something that I should have brought up too, says Boogie Cousins does not play well against Gasol.
You might have another good call here. Jimmy the Bag, I hit 210 on the over. It's now up to 213. You think I should pull that one? You think I should take that one back on my personal accounts? What do you think on the total on this one?
Mr. Gogster, a great capper, says 213 is awfully high for Memphis, but he was initially on the over, so he's having second thoughts on the over. Mr. Cloudkick says, I see Pelicans blowing them out. I don't. I really don't. Not at home. Not a rested team like this. I think they're going to be able to defend the perimeter. Joshua Yanez says that's a good pick. Might jump on that with you, Jimmy. I think there's going to be buckets. If you got the over at 210, I would be quite comfortable with that spot.
Yeah, maybe I'll take it back and maybe look for a middle with my personal accounts because I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous about that pick as the line goes higher and higher. All right, let's talk about Dallas and Charlotte, right? Dallas is on a back-to-back. They blew out Orlando at home. Now they're on the road at Charlotte, very rested. Is Charlotte a good play here? Dallas on a back-to-back. Charlotte rested. Charlotte comes back strong. What do you think, Charlotte, on the first half? What do you think?
This is a similar spot to what Memphis is in. The Hornets have had 4 days off, and the Mavericks are coming off a 114-99 win over the Magic last night. That stopped a 3-game losing streak, and they were looking so good before. The Hornets are coming off a 3-1 Western swing that saw them beat the Warriors 111-100. The Hornets will now play 8 of their next 9 at home, where they have lost 8 of their last 11, but are 10-10 on the season. They went 2-0 versus the Mavericks last year. The Hornets continue to produce bad numbers in every statistical category except rebounds. Over the last few years, you can make that statement about every team that Dwight Howard has played for. The Mavericks are 5-14 on the road, but are coming off a 3-game road trip where they won them all. Pacers, Pelicans, and Thunder. They're now 12th in the league, allowing 104.3 points per game, but rebounding continues to hold them back. They're 26th in the league at 40.4 rebounds, and that's the Hornets' big asset is rebounding. So when you see a discrepancy, you have to kind of like where the Hornets are sitting right now with the rest, knowing that they're a great rebounding team going against a bad rebounding team. I can understand somebody liking the Hornets in this spot. What line would you be getting?
Well, the full game, the first half is 4, which is what I was thinking about, and then the full game is 7, up from 6.5.
Yeah, I just can't trust the Hornets with that number. But I like the Hornets to win this game, but I can't give that many points.
All right, what else are you liking from today's NBA card, Jim?
Perfect timing. Salty Dog 93 says, did I miss the bag capping Miami versus Indy? If so, who did he go with? This is the other play that I'm in love with.
You love Indiana here, right?
I love Indiana here. I absolutely love Indiana here. The Heat are coming off a hard-fought 90-89 victory over the Raptors in Toronto last night. They've won 5 straight and 8 out of 10. Last night, they were the rested team, playing against a team on the second half of a back-to-back. Tonight, they're playing a rested team, and they're on the second half of a back. Dragic says they're mentally much stronger than they were at the beginning of the season. I see that. It's impossible not to see. This Miami Heat team is playing tough basketball. He put up 24 points, tied a career high with 12 rebounds last night. The Heat have lost 10 straight games at Indiana. The Pacers had lost 5 in a row, including all 4 games that Oladipo missed with a knee injury. In the 2 games Oladipo has been back, the Pacers have outscored the Bulls and the Bucks by 52 points. Miles Turner, who's battling an elbow injury and is questionable, says that Oladipo opens the floor for everybody. If Turner can't go, Sabonis will take his spot in the starting lineup. 21 points a game over the last 3. It's no problem. Carlson says the key to the last 2 victories, has been getting more physical with their opponents, and that is exactly what Miami has been doing. So they're going to be both playing physical with each other. They also have averaged 27 assists a game over this 2-game winning streak. For the Heat, Winslow and Waiters are unlikely, and Tyler Johnson's questionable with the shoulder injury. I really like the Pacers here, and I'm interested in the under.
Yes, I hit the under myself. I hit it at 207. It's now down to 205. I will definitely, for right now, jump on the first half. -2.5 and -110 is the best line right now at Bet365. Thinking about throwing on the under. Thinking about throwing on the full game. What are your picks going to be for this game, Jim?
Well, this is a nice spot I feel really good about. Greg Schneider says, love the Pacers. Stephen Allen says, I agree with you, Jimmy. Love Indiana in this spot. I just think this is a great play. Donald Trump says Indiana -5 is the second best play of the night. Indiana has enough depth to compensate Turner's loss, which we said, and in my opinion, are playing moving the ball better without him. Miami on a away back-to-back. This line is juicy as fuck, says Mr. Trump. Kobe Valentine says Pacers is my best bet today. Adam Lastman says Pacers team over. I just like this. I like this a lot. DJ Big Boss says Pacers are 2-1 against the spread in the new year. Let's see how long I can ride this wave. Justin Searcy says I like Indy -4.5. Mr. Cloudkick says Pacers are on a mission. I like them all week. Pacers are a bet on. This is a great spot, and I just don't want the under to mess up this great spot. My only fear is that the Heat are tired, and when they're tired, will they play worse defensively, or will they just slow the pace down?
And Indiana might run up the score as well, and it might be one of those overs where Miami scores 90 and Indiana scores 130.
Pacers are going to be running at them, and I do like the under, but I'm not going to let it get in the way of a play that I am extremely confident in.
Okay, so what's your pick going to be here?
I'll take the full game.
All right, no 4.5s anymore, but we can give you -5, -105, -5, -105. That's the best line at Pinnacle. I'm going to give them on the first half -2.5, -110, and I'm thinking maybe instead of taking -5, maybe just a money line at -195. What do you think about that? That protects you against like a 2, 3, 4-point win by Indiana. And in case Miami does pull off the upset win, you lose 2 units, which is bad, but not super catastrophic.
It's interesting hedging with the other side's money line.
No, not Miami. I'm taking Indiana. Indiana, I'm saying.
At what line?
-195.
Excuse me. I get it. I just don't like taking those kind of numbers. I've built back in NHL and
in
NBA by not doing that.
All right.
I'm going to ride with you on the first half. I think this is such a good spot that I'm going to double up on it.
Okay, first half -2.5, -110. That's the line at Bet365. And I will take Indiana. I like it. I agree with everyone, but I'm going to take them on the money line -195. That's going to be at Pinnacle, BetOnline, and SportsBetting.ag. So I'm on the Indiana first half -2.5 and the money line -195 on the full game, and Jim's on Indiana first half -2.5, -110, and the full game -5, -105. All right, great breakdown, everyone. Jimmy the Bag, all the knowledgeable commenters. Let's see what else is interesting from today's card. Let's see. What else are you liking, Jim? Why don't you pick a game?
I would love to. I am on the Brooklyn Nets money line this evening, but I might switch it to the spread depending on the situation. But in the morning when I was capping this, I was on the Brooklyn money line. Pistons have lost 5 straight on the road. Van Gundy said we've lost 5 straight on the road, and all of them have been horrendous defensive efforts, pathetic defensive efforts. Sometimes I would think, well, the coach is getting in on them. He's going to motivate them. But we've heard all year from people who are closer to this team than we are that there's problems in this dressing room and that they're trying to tune out Van Gundy and they don't like him. Because of that, I'm not sure if these negative things he's saying about the team will motivate these guys. We know this team will only go as far as their defense will take them. In their 112-109 loss to the Pelicans, Harris put up 25. Bradley put up 24 on 10 for 23 shooting for his best game since missing 7 games with a groin injury. Stanley Johnson will be back in the lineup, which will help, but Jackson and Lure will be out long term. The Nets are 3-3 in their last 6. Their last 5 have all been decided by 3 points or less. The Nets 8-7 in games decided by 5 points or less this season. Since his contract was guaranteed for the rest of the season, which was a no-brainer. I mean, he had to know that was going to happen. But since it did happen, Spencer Dinwiddie has been playing out of his mind, averaging 25.7 points per game on 49.1% shooting over his last 3 games. Atkinson has said that when D'Angelo Russell comes back, which is very soon, that Dinwiddie will not be off the floor and that he'll try to play Russell and Dinwiddie together on the floor. DeMarre Carroll has been ruled out. Alan Crabb suffered a shin injury in their overtime loss to the Raptors. He says he'll be good to go, but he's listed as doubtful on the injury report. Stauskas is questionable with an ankle injury. I just like this Brooklyn team feeling good about themselves. And I'm curious to see whether this Pistons team will step up after what Van Gundy has said.
Yeah, this is another one that I hit on the overnight line, which has not moved. I hit the under at 204, and it is right now still actually up to 204.5. So a little bit of a move against me. What do you think about the under here, Jim? Obviously, we've been had an accurate read on Brooklyn unders recently, even though the last game against Toronto went over just because of overtime. What do you think about an under here?
I like the under here. I can see it. I can see it because Brooklyn's been defending the perimeter so much better than they had previously earlier in the year, and that's been creating wins for them. And the Pistons have to play well defensively. I think it's a good spot. Again, I'm a little concerned whether I make a mistake here by doubling up because I really like. I guess I wouldn't say they're my top. It's my third place. So maybe I should take the under on it. Kobe had an interesting point. He said, take the spread for Brooklyn. They are money against the spread. I can easily see a 1-point loss by a buzzer beater from Tobias Harris. Let's before I get into the under, what would I get on the spread compared to the money line?
Well, actually, now you might be wanting to take the money line here because the best spread would be +2 minus 102 at Pinnacle. The best money line would be +116 at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I like the +116.
Okay.
That seems kind of juicy to me. I hear what Kobe's saying, and it might be a mistake, but I can't help but not like that kind of spot.
+116 is the currently best money line for Brooklyn. I'm going to throw on the first half under -105 -110. That's for sure. I'm vaguely agreeing with you on Brooklyn as the spread, or money line play, and I'm thinking about the full game under as well. Right now, I'm just going to take the first half under 105 -110. Jimmy, a bag. You want to touch the total?
I'm thinking about that full game under quite a bit, and you're saying it's 205?
204.5.
204.5. You know what? I'm going to lay off of it just because I like the Brooklyn side a lot, and I just don't want a mistake on the total to hurt that.
All right, so Jim's going to take the Nets money line +116, and I'm on the Nets first half under 105 -110. All right, let's talk.
And Searcy says, sorry, I don't mean to stop you, but Searcy says, I still think Drummond ain't right either. And that is a very good point, Justin. He does not look right. And I hated the way Van Gundy called him out there by saying that it's just a pain tolerance thing and that he could be playing. That you don't say that about your best player. That's a mistake. The people who are closer than we are to this team who've been talking about the issues in the dressing room, I believe them. Okay.
Wow, Brooklyn might be a great play here, Jim. Maybe I should tell you on this one.
I like it.
Why are they a home dog here?
Because they're still the market still sees them as the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to simplify it too much, and maybe that is simplifying, but the market sees them as this. As one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Knicks and Chicago. The Bulls suddenly lost 4 out of 5 ATS right after having a long run of being undervalued and ATS profitability. Knicks suddenly covered 2 in a row. We were thinking maybe that Porzingis was tiring down. Maybe the whole team was tiring down. Going to be a good fade going forward. But last 2 games, 2 nice covers. What do you think happens here? The last time they met was in Chicago, somewhat recently. Very low scoring. Chicago won 92-87. Although, of course, Chicago has been a lot worse defensively recently, and games have been going over. What's your take on this one, Jim?
This is an interesting game, and I'm not going to actually make a decision on it until I hear about the injuries, because there's some stuff still up in the air that we can't find out about, and we will over the next few hours. Knicks are 2-7 over their last 9. Porzingis put up 29 points on Monday versus the Mavericks. In the 3 previous games, he'd gone just 15 for 46 for 44 points. Tim Hardaway Jr. was a full participant at practice on Tuesday, and his return is imminent. Whether that will help them that first game back, probably not. Michael Beasley rolled his ankle against the Mavs and is questionable. When both these guys are healthy and good to go, this is a Knicks team that could get together another winning streak like they did early in the year. When they have both those guys rolling, it takes the pressure off of Porzingis. The Knicks will be able to string together some wins. Bulls have lost 5 of 6, and Mirotic may miss his 2nd straight game with a stomach virus. He traveled with the team and is listed as questionable. His 17.4 points and 7 boards will be very useful tonight, and especially his defense down low with Porzingis. The Bulls will get a spark with the season debut of Zach LaVine, but that's not till Saturday versus the Pistons. I just need to wait. Adam Lastman's coming with some of the latest information. He says Mirotic doubtful, Tim Hardaway out. So that with Tim Hardaway out, I kind of think that's better for the Pistons. I mean, obviously not in the long run, but right now. Donald Trump says Mirotic won't play, I think. Usually if someone doesn't participate in the shoot-arounds, you can rule them out, from my experience at least. I get that. That makes sense to me. I can't back the Bulls without Mirotic. I really think he's a game changer. And I kind of like the Knicks better without Hardaway being refigured out into the rotation and into the pace. So with that information, as we stand right now, and I'm not going to do it yet, but I would take the Knicks.
Yeah. This is a tough one. It's a tricky game.
It's a really tricky
Very interesting game. I'm going to pass on it, but it does have maybe second half written all over it for me, Jimmy the Bag. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Let's talk about Portland, right? Portland and Houston. Harden continues to be out. Houston's been great in first quarters, of course, since Harden's been out. Portland on a back-to-back. Popped OKC last night without Lillard. Again, that just gets in my craw because it's just like my leans were to the over. I said it like 5 times in yesterday's show. Did not, as much as I have overcome my lack of balls issue overall in general in my life, it still crops up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a freaking drug addict. I'm addicted to having no balls, Jim.
Well, I think that your leans are so strong that you should just go with them completely. And I can understand. I mean, when you're up 30 units in college basketball, it's easier to trust your leans, but I still think they're very strong.
And you know how I know I have a problem? Because I lie to my friends and family about my lack of balls, too. I lie to them all the time about it. And they know I'm lying, and I still lie to them about it. And last night it happened again. The friggin' over in the Portland-Houston game. But look what I did tonight, right? I did take the Washington overs, right? All right, so Portland and Houston. Portland on a back-to-back. Houston's been great first quarters. What do you think about just no-brainering it and taking Houston first quarter? Feels to me like this might be a native queen type play. Houston first quarter, even though they'd be -3.
Yeah, we miss native queen today. Yeah. We haven't seen her on the forum. I hope she gets in on it with us. Houston native Gerald Green continues to impress after being signed off of his couch. He's averaged 17.3 points per game while hitting 50% of his threes in his first 7 games for the Rockets. Wins are difficult to come by without Harden in the lineup. The Rockets have won 3 of their last 10. They're coming off a 116-107 win at Chicago on Monday. Harden and Mbah Moute remain out, but Nene could be back tonight. Damian Lillard's missed 7 to 9 games. The Blazers are handling the adversity very well. They've won 3 straight and 4 or 5. McCollum has looked excellent carrying the offensive load with Lillard out. On their 3-game win streak, he's averaging 24 points while shooting 53.6 from the floor, 42.9% from 3. On their 3-game winning streak, Shabazz Napier has averaged 15 points, 5 assists, taking over the starting point guard duties from Lillard. It's an interesting spot, and I like your Rockets first quarter lean.
-2.5 would be approximately where it is. Probably some -3s. That's I haven't done enough statistical analysis into NBA first quarters, which I probably should do. But my gut tells me that lane 3. Any situation in the first quarter is just very treacherous. You know what I'm saying?
It's risky. When I looked into this game, I didn't want to make a move on it, and I'm going to continue studying it and not make an official pick right now. I think I just need more time.
Or what about just a shot with the first half over? This is another. Obviously, Houston with Harden out has still been a high-scoring team. We saw what happened with Portland yesterday, and again, this is a relatively low total with a first half total that is significantly less than 50% of the first half. The full game total here is just 214, which strikes me as a little bit low, and then the first half total is just 104.5. What do you think about that, Jimmy the Bag?
104.5. I like that line.
But these are the exact same lines with Lakers game last night, and the Lakers game, unbelievable. I did have the balls take both of those last night. Both of them lost, Similar situation here, Jim.
Very similar situation.
I mean, Houston is still playing a brisk pace, hitting a lot of threes. You know what I'm saying?
I am definitely into that first half over, and
well, don't let me talk you onto something that you weren't going to already give.
Well, no, but I mean, we're breaking these games down together. I am not afraid of making decisions that I wasn't initially going to take because that's what we're doing here. We're capping these games together. That doesn't concern me at all.
Well, no, that's because you're up 15 units in NBA. I'm that way in NHL. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I understand, Jim.
I hear you. I hear you. And I hear you. But yes, I like that first half over, and I'm going to take it.
Okay, I just talked Jim onto a play that I'm not taking myself. Houston I might wind up taking it. I'm just going to see where this line moves because it opened at 105.5. It's now headed down. It's now down to 104.5. Again, these line moves on NBA totals often don't mean shit, but I'm going to see where this line moves. I mean, it's possible we could even see 104, 103.5 by the 6 o'clock show. Who knows? But right now, Jim's going to take the first half over, and the best line is 104.5 minus 103. That's the current line at Pinnacle. Very interesting. Jimmy the Bag. You're sure you want to do that? 104.5 minus 103.
I like that a lot.
Okay.
Christopher Kelly says take the first half over and full game over. This will hit. Mr. Gogster says Rockets first quarter is cash. Brendan Cummings says over is 5-1 in the last 6 in Houston between the Rockets and Blazers.
Yeah.
But Adam Lastman says go with Blazers on the team under 103. But I like this. I like the first half over quite a bit. I think they're going to come out shooting. Portland feels good about themselves.
Okay. All right. My leans on this one would be to the overs, full game and first quarter and first half, and a little bit more to the first half as well. And maybe let me look at the first quarter total here. What would the first quarter total be here? 53. Ooh,
I get why
you
that
get
would be,
that, right, Jim?
I do, but I'm uncomfortable doubling up.
All right, so I will make some decisions later on, maybe on the 6 o'clock show. Add some plays. We got a few more games we have to cover, but as of right now, here are the picks that we've given. Jim has given Brooklyn moneyline plus 116, Washington first half over 99 minus 112, Golden State under 226 plus 100, Houston first half over 104.5, Memphis plus 1.5, Indiana minus 5, and Indiana first half minus 2.5, and I've given Washington first half over 99 and the full game over 206. Brooklyn first half under 105. Indiana first half minus 2.5 and Indiana on the money line minus 195. Got some other interesting games here. OKC, Minnesota, Orlando, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Denver. Those are the only three games we didn't cover. You have anything to say about any of those games, Jimmy the Bag?
Yes, I'm on the Wolves again. I've been riding them and winning with them. But I do need to talk about the line a bit, or the spread. The Thunder look awful again. Last night's 117-106 loss at home to a Portland team missing Lillard was embarrassing. The Thunder were fourth in the league in defensive rating before that loss. They allowed the Blazers to shoot 63% from the field. That's ridiculous. Thunder have now lost 4 of 6 after winning 12 of 15. When they won 12 of 15, we thought they'd figured it out. Andre Robertson is expected to miss his 6th straight game. The Wolves have completely dominated their last 2 opponents, completely, thoroughly destroyed them. They combined to beat the Heat. They combined to beat the Cavaliers and Pelicans by 46 points. The Cavaliers came back in garbage time. They're playing extremely well. Their defense has improved. They have the league's 5th best defensive rating over their last 10 games. They may get Jeff Teague back. I hope if they do, I hope they don't play him for more than 20 minutes or so. But yeah, I think the Wolves are in a nice spot.
Okay. You want to take a spread here? What do you want, Jim?
What is the spread?
Let's see. Minnesota Timberwolves. Best line. It opened at 4. Now it's up to 4.5 market wide. No fours. No fours, Jim.
I will take 4.5. Now, Cody Snowden says OKC easy money, and we've seen that they have not been easy money ever, except in high-profile games, which I don't count this as one of. They look good when they're in LA or when they're in a big showcase spot, but in these other games, they don't look very good. Aaron Escobar said, yes, and it was me who said it. Said last night that OKC could be looking ahead to this game versus Minnesota. Donald Trump does not agree with me.
Is this that big of a game?
It's not.
I mean, they got Wiggins, but is Minnesota that big of a deal?
I mean, they're both fighting for these the 4 through 8 seeds. Sure, but yeah, I don't think this is a big deal. I think. I love the way Minnesota's playing and can't trust. Lathrop says Vegas point blank is on Timberwolves team total over. Donald Trump thinks OKC plus 4.5 is the play.
What about Minnesota first half minus 2.5? We know that Minnesota has been a team that struggles in the fourth quarter, maybe just minus 2.5 on the first half. What do you think, Jim?
I don't see them struggling in the last little bit anymore. And they've been resting in the fourth quarters, and they're a rested ball club. So I think that has changed. Okay.
And your read on OKC is not that they've turned a corner, not that they've gotten some cohesion, because we were thinking that about OKC, a few games ago, weren't we?
We were, and is this all happening with Robertson out of the lineup and his defensive pressure, his on-ball defending, his perimeter defending is a very likely possibility. We've always talked about how bad of a shooter Robertson is, and the stat I pulled out yesterday, I don't have it in front of me, but was how they score. Their offense is much better with him on the floor. Donald Trump says, what I also noticed, and I might be wrong, with against bad teams, OKC trends to ISO more while they move the ball better against good teams. So I expect them to do that here. I understand that. That's an interesting spot.
I was thinking about a shot with the over. I did take it at 211, and that one has moved up to a 211.5 or 212. What do you think, Jim?
That would be my lean for sure. Definitely. That would be my lean for sure, even though the Wolves' defense has been getting better.
And they started to go under for a bunch of games in a row for sure, except for their last game. But Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you going to do here as far as the
I'm
pick, Jim?
taking the Wolves minus 4.5.
All right, let's find you the best line, just in case it loses, which is possible. 4.5 minus 105. Jim's going to take Minnesota minus 4.5, minus 105. That's the best line right now at Pinnacle.
Sweet.
All right, and I'm going to watch and wait and think. My leans would be to maybe Minnesota on the first half. My lean would be maybe to a shot with the over or the first half over. Maybe I'll throw those on later on today in the 6 o'clock show. All right, and then Orlando-Milwaukee. That's an interesting one. Milwaukee, Orlando obviously on a back-to-back, and they're bad. But, is Milwaukee good enough to be giving double digits here? What do you think?
That was my lean, and my lean was that I can't take the Bucks at this line. That the Magic looks like that's a better spot to be in, but they're a difficult team to trust. Bucks have lost 3 of 5, and they're coming off an embarrassing 109-96 loss to the Pacers on Monday night. They were down by as many as 27. They were completely outplayed from start to finish. Antetokounmpo scored just 17 points on 3 of 8 shooting, committed 4 of the Bucks, 17 turnovers. The big three, Antetokounmpo, Middleton, and Bledsoe, went just 14 for 35 from the floor, so I expect them to play better. I really expect them to shoot better. They're 13-7 at home. But can you trust them as a double-digit favorite? I don't think so. Magic are on the second half of a back-to-back, losing 114-99 at Dallas last night. After starting out the year 8-4, they've lost 25 of 29 games. Aaron Gordon was held out of the starting lineup due to a violation of team rules, but came in halfway through the first, started the second half, 19 points, 8 boards. Vucevic, Ross, Isaac remain out long-term. Clearly this Magic team is bad, but...
Yeah, maybe I have a bad read on this game because I'm about to admit something really embarrassing. I hit the under 217.5. I thought maybe Milwaukee would clamp down a little bit on defense. It's now jumped up to 219.5 or 220, this total. Why is this total exploding? I thought the under might be a good play here.
Wow, I guess I don't want to get too caught up in how they played last night. Because they did not look good. And then I made the mistake of getting too caught up with how they played against the Cavs when they put up 127 points. And I was shocked that they were able to do that with Biyombo playing so much. And then they put up 99 here. I find them a difficult team to figure out.
All right, I'm going to make this an official pick. I'm going to take the under 220 minus 105, even though I liked it at 217.5, and it's since jumped up 2 points. Again, a lot of times you see U-shaped line movements, parabolic line movements, right? A lot of times you see around this time of day a big line movement one way, and then come 3, 4, 5 o'clock Eastern time, bam, it's back down the other way. So that might happen here, but I'm going to take the under as an official play here. 220 minus 105. Hopefully Milwaukee will clamp down on defense after that embarrassing loss. And what else do you like, Jim, if anything?
Is that every game? Have I missed one here?
The only one we didn't get to is Atlanta-Denver. And we do have to get to NHL.
Yes. The Hawks, Denver. Here we go. Oh, yes, I have a play on this. And I was lukewarm about it, so why don't I talk it out? But my lean is taking the Hawks on the first half. Hawks are 3-19 on the road and have lost 10 straight games. 10 straight road games. They're coming off the 108-107 loss to that injury-riddled Clippers team. Dwayne Dedmon did return from an injury. Only played 20 minutes, 6 points, 3 boards, but he's a very important player moving forward. Only DeAndre Bembry remains out of the lineup with a groin injury. I think this Hawks team will be undervalued moving forward. The Nuggets are coming off that giant game for them against the Warriors, 124-114 road loss. Jokic put up 22 points, 12 boards, 11 assists for his first triple-double of the season. He had scored just 8 points in each of the 2 games before that. Gary Harris continues to impress on both ends of the court. Last 5 games, averaging 21 points, shooting 57% from the field, 43% from 3. Now, is there a letdown after that passionate Warriors game? That's what I'm wondering. Will there be a home letdown in the first half of the game? And that's what I think was my feel on this game. Yes, I think that Denver can put up, clearly win this game easily. But in the first half, will the Hawks come out a little hungrier than the Nuggets? And that is what I'm thinking is going to happen.
This game, I have just one note: pass. Pass for me. So I'm passing on this game completely. Do you want to make a pick on this one, Jim?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Hawks on the first half line.
Okay, let's find it. Let's find it for you. Jimmy the Bag, liking the Atlanta Hawks. Best line would be 5, and it's 5.5 across the market. Plus 5.5 minus 104 is the best line right now at Pinnacle. Atlanta plus 5.5 minus 104 at Pinnacle. Is that it for you, Jim?
Yes, that is.
All right, so that's it. So we've covered every game. Jimmy the Bag, I'm going to review all the picks that we've given in NBA. While I'm doing that, why don't you scan the comments, see if there's any important comments tournaments that we don't want to miss, and then we move on to the tiny NHL card, all right?
Absolutely.
All right, Jimmy the Bag as given. Brooklyn money line plus 116. Washington first half over 99. The Golden State game under 226. Watch the beginning of this video to find an excellent analysis on that game from Jimmy the Bag and a bunch of other commenters as well. Houston first half over 104.5. Minnesota minus 4.5, minus 105. Memphis plus 1.5. Indiana minus 5. Indiana first half minus 2.5. And Atlanta first half plus 5.5, minus 104. Those are all of Jimmy's picks. A whole bunch of picks from Jimmy the Bag, who is currently up about 15 units in NBA in these shows this year and up about 26 units since December 8th. Very nice job, Jimmy the Bag. And my picks on this game. On this card, Washington first half over 99 and the full game over 206. Brooklyn first half under 105. Indiana first half minus 2.5 and Indiana on the money line to win the game minus 195. And the Milwaukee under 220, even though there's been a strong move recently to the over on that one, going against my initial lean on that one, thinking that the under might be a good play. And that's it for the NBA. Jimmy the Bag, any comments that you want to highlight, or should we move on to NHL?
A comment I love hearing. Lee Davis says, and I didn't have these numbers in front of me. I was just thinking that this would be the situation. Denver has a horrible against the spread record the game after playing Golden State.
Wow.
And he says, I will find it later. That was my thought process.
Yes.
I mean, they were
a
really
lot of teams do, or the Spurs, or LSU in college football. You do see that a lot.
I think that's a great line and very interesting, and that was my feeling. Triple Beam says Atlanta bottom 5 defensive efficiency in the Mountains versus a top 8 offensive efficiency team. He thinks it's going to be a track meet. Interesting.
Okay, let's move on to NHL, Jimmy the Bag. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, just 2 games in NHL, and both of these games are very, very iffy to me. I think I'm going to pass on both of these. Obviously, Minnesota playing Chicago, both on a back-to-back. Chicago involved in that super huge high-scoring game against Ottawa, where Chicago put up 8 goals. Minnesota, everyone thought that was a great play yesterday, so I tailed it, and I got a loss. Thanks. I'd like to give a big sarcastic thanks to all the commenters and to Jimmy the Bag for putting me on a loser lap. No, I'm kidding. So they're meeting up tonight, both on a back-to-back. Chicago, a small home favorite, and then Ottawa playing Toronto, right? Toronto, Ottawa, a team, they just got blown out. Now Toronto here is a huge favorite. Is Toronto, yes, we got it. Is Toronto good enough to be this big of a favorite?
I don't like that they're this big of a favorite, but knowing that the Flu's going through Ottawa and that they hate stepping on the ice together, it makes me want to take it. I guess. Do you know that the plus 130s that I've gone on with the puck line have hit? I have a good number on them this year, so I can't. I don't want to be too afraid, and I'm not going to be too afraid.
Well, this isn't in that category because this would be plus 140, Jim.
Oh, where do you get the plus 140?
Pinnacle, sportsbetting.ag, bet online. A few places at plus 140.
I want it.
Oh, you sure?
Yep.
Okay, Jim's going to take Toronto puck line plus 140. Over Ottawa. You think Ottawa is just in a tailspin? They're just fade city?
They're just falling apart. What, Condon is going to come in here and fix things? No. They're everything is falling apart. The dressing room is a morgue. And the Leafs have not been playing that well. I mean, the Babcock's going to be all over them. Get on them early. Bobby Ryan went down with a hand injury last night. He's one of the leaders of the team that would likely step up in the dressing room. The Sens have now 6 wins in the last 25 games. Blackhawks put 43 shots on the Senators. The Leafs are still smarting from allowing the Blue Jackets to come back and rally from a 2-0 deficit late in the third period to shock them in overtime. Leafs are 5-3-2 over their last 10. Leafs special teams continue to impress me. 6th in power play, 6th in penalty killing. I just think this, CRC says can't play with the flu. The flu is going through this whole dressing room, and I'm going to take the Leafs on the puck line.
Okay, plus 140 is the best line at Pinnacle Sportsbetting.ag. This line did not have an overnight line, so I didn't have time to look into it. And the Minnesota-Chicago game did, and that one's definitely going to be passed for me. You have any angle on that one?
I do have an angle on this, but Jim Rummy does have a good point. He says they got blown out, but they're really good in division games versus the Leafs. They're going to come up for the game. I get it, but no. I like this, and I'm going to take them, and I'm not going to be afraid. Yes, I have a play on this, and that is that I think Jeff Glass is going to get touched tonight, but not enough. The Blackhawks are playing so well that it's not enough for me to take the Wild.
Right.
But it is enough for me to take the over 5.5.
That's what I was thinking as well.
That we're getting a plus line on. Are we still getting the plus line?
Yes, plus 106 would be the best line right now.
That is a huge opportunity for us to get a plus line over 5.5 in this game. I do not trust that Glass is going to be able to do this. He's expected to start after Forsberg played last night. Glass is 2-1-1, 3.51 goals against average, 908 save percentage. He's been fine. Blackhawks are 11-6-2 at home this season. The Wild are coming off a 3-2 overtime home loss to the Flames last night. They're hungry. They've lost 2 straight after winning 4 or 5. They scored 2 goals in the third period. Niederreiter suffered another injury. He'll be out for a week. Dubnyk allowed 6 goals in his last game. You never know when he's going to play well.
Isn't it Stalock tonight that I saw?
Stalock played last night.
Okay, right.
So Dubnyk will be in tonight. He's coming off a start where he got pulled after allowing 6 goals on 32 shots. Both teams are coming off the second half of a back-to-back, which I always think leads to more offense. Blackhawks just put up 8 goals, feel good about themselves. They've now scored 4+ goals in 4 straight games in 5 of their last 6. Kane put up 5 points last night. Taves and Schmaltz put up 2 goals each, and we're getting a plus line on this?
Yeah. You know what? That was my lean as well. I wanted to hear what you had to say about it because of the weird situation, both off a back-to-back, Chicago off of the huge. So sometimes, in lots of sports, when you see a team having a huge offensive explosion, you expect, sometimes a modest scoring game or even like a very low scoring game the next time out. You don't expect that here from Chicago.
I do. I agree with you. When a team scores 8 goals, they generally score 2 or 3 the next game. But Jeff Glass is going to allow some goals, so these Blackhawks better be ready to go. I said as soon as this power play could get going for the Blackhawks, they'll start winning games. And I don't have the numbers of their power play over the last 5 games, but I expect with all this offense happening, that should be something that happens. I just think that getting the plus units is a really nice spot.
All right, I like your capping on these 2 games, Jim. You've got 2 underdogs here, so if 1 wins, you have a positive day. If 2 wins, of course, you have a nice solid 2-0 day. I'm going to stay off both games for now. Jim taking the Toronto puck line plus 140 and the Chicago game over 5.5 plus 106. Very nicely done, Jimmy the Bag. All right, let's quickly move on. College basketball. Once again, Jimmy the Bag and I have no picks for college basketball as of right now. Did you look at any of these games, Jim?
Not really.
Not
I mean,
yet.
I didn't put. Yes, I looked at some of the games, and there's some moves that I like already. But I'm going to hammer them, study them hard. We've got a bunch of great cappers that we run with every day that will be sending information, sending information to me on tweets. So we're going to all work together and make money. Some
interesting shit. Xavier Villanova, big clash there. And we got a couple of elite teams laying massive points. Duke as a 20-point road favorite at Pittsburgh. Michigan State giving 20.5 to Rutgers. Some interesting shit here. I have not had a time to look into any of these from deep enough to give official picks on any of these, but I will hopefully be able to break down all of them. If not, I'll break down as many as I can and give out as many picks as I can. Hopefully, I'll be able to find some balls and have some presence of mind to not be a little bit clouded and be shy away from my leans. Because yesterday, that's the problem. Is that yesterday the problem was it was a combination of me being thrown a little bit off my schedule and the fact that most of the plays that I really liked were contrarian. Unders in games that involved teams that were obviously high scoring with very high totals, like the Oklahoma game. Like the West Virginia game. So I was like, man, I just, no, I'm not going to give the picks. Big mistake. I should just give leans. Anytime I have a lean, I should make it official, Jim. Basically.
I agree.
Basically. I agree. All right, but Jimmy the Bag's going to do a ton of research. Love hearing Jimmy the Bag's. It's gotten to the point where, like, if I ask Jim if he's been able to look at a game and he says no, I get depressed. I'm like, oh, man, I was hoping you'd be able to have a 15-minute little window there to look at this game that I was wondering about. So, Jimmy the Bag and I are going to be back at 6 o'clock to break down the entire college basketball card. We're also going to take a look at the line movements in NHL and NBA and maybe add some picks to our official slates, which are already pretty big in the NBA. And that's about it. We will be back at 6 o'clock. Sorry I wasn't able to read any comments today, but the 6 o'clock show, I will definitely be able to read all the comments and go back and forth and save the good ones. We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks, everyone.